of little missiles out in your direction. There's two ways really to defeat this enemy, and I'll show just the normal gun version here. However, later on in the game, it's much easier to actually use your sword. Try to keep your distance and cause the missiles to start heading in your direction in a way that you'll actually be able to get around them and destroy most of them before actually being hit by enemies. Doing it this way will take a lot longer, but you can see that it actually is able to be done with just the normal gun. Once we're done, we grab another upgrade and head one room over to the left, which is actually the holding place for corridor number 3. To get inside, you're actually going to have to wait a few seconds for it to open up. Corridor 3 is the exact replica of Corridor 13. The enemies are pretty much the same with only a few new variants, and they do move a little bit faster, but overall, if you had no problem with the previous one, you should have no trouble getting through this one. The new circular-like aliens can move rather fast as they're moving back and forth quickly along the top of the screen, making their way towards you. However, your normal gunfire should be just enough in order to destroy them before they're actually able to do any damage to you. At the end of the corridor, I'm going to switch off into another weapon, as it's now time to deal with a blue version of the giant green blob that we saw earlier on. You can see that this guy moves a little bit quicker, as well as the things that he drops are a lot longer this time. They don't quite reach the entire length of the screen like ones that we'll see later on, but this is a real pain to deal with. Staying at the bottom of the screen once again is probably our best bet in order to avoid the projectiles as he drops them. This weapon is a very large bullet that shoots out very slowly, hitting it as many times as possible before it goes off screen. So this can be effective to launch out and able to get some extra damage other than just using your normal gun. Once you take care of them, we get our next key, as well as complete corridor number 3. Head back through corridor 13 and then head back into the main area, and now we have to actually go back to the main hub of the space station. If you need some extra chips, you can destroy those panels there in order to grab some. With our new key, we're able to travel back through Naiju and go to this area. Just like before, this area is similar to the previous one, however we did need a new key in order to enter this area. Make your way along the bottom of this red area because you won't be able to go through the top. Stop by here in order to grab a blue lanyard to increase our health by 1 bar. Enter into this entrance in order to get to corridor number 14. However, we're going to skip this one for now, as we'll get it on our way back. Up here on the left side, stop by here and grab the blue lanyard and buy it with your chip money. Now exit. This is a little bit tricky because you're actually going to have to go back in and you'll get a different message this time. Exit, go back in again, and you'll still see that it says any luck. However, exit one more time and then head back in another time, and in order for this time to get a different message. It'll tell you how to remove the seal for the 4th corridor. You won't be able to do that unless you've actually gone through and talked to that guy those times. However, on the right side is the entrance to Corridor 4, which we can now enter and go through. The bird-like enemies that we see here are very similar to the manta ray enemies that we saw in the first areas. From here on out, I'm pretty much going to always have one of my special weapons equipped, either the sword that goes straight or the swords on the left and right side of me. This ends up being extremely useful, especially when there's tons of enemies on screen and it's impossible to dodge them all. It's best to have some kind of protection for yourself. It's going to allow you to destroy a lot of the enemies that are either coming straight at you or from your sides. So get used to using those weapons pretty early on. The boss for this area is a very large dragon-like enemy. For this boss, as soon as he appears, get up close to him and start using your sword weapon. After a few seconds, after he launches some fireballs, he will disappear and go to another part of the screen. So be prepared and move to where he is, and start immediately getting right up